O Chaos Emeralds, Gems of Miracles, please heed my call. I wish to save this world. I wish to cleanse my father's sin, and I wish to talk to Sonic once again. You have given me so many things. Now it is my time to return the favor. I care not what happens to me, but please heed my voice. Sonic, come back. To me. To us.
Oh God, my eyes!
Thank you, Elise.
Welcome to the final part of the Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 Let's Play. Hey, let's not fuck around anymore and beat Solaris. Yeah! Because, you know, at this point, it's only traditional to have a supersonic fight against the monster of the week. Now, here's something that's a bit off-putting. When you start the fight, you want to hit triangle 2 times just so you can switch to silver. Because the thing is with this boss fight, hey, you can only damage it with certain characters in the beginning. So in the beginning, I have to take control of Super Silver, where I simply have to hold down the R1 button and use the psychokinesis, where I can grab many objects that are in his range, and I don't know how Silver has improved, to be perfectly honest. But throw enough projectiles at it, and you destroy part of his armor. But we don't damage it with Supersonic yet. Instead, we switch to Super Shadow, where we hold down the R1 button and to launch multiple Chaos Spheres. Unfortunately though, in terms of hurting this boss, it's kind of finicky, to be honest. Because there are times where he'll raise his arm, which acts like a shield, and his health won't drop. But sometimes he'll have his arm up, and it'll take damage. Trust me, I have no idea why that happens, but yeah. Now I do something pretty damn stupid. What I do here is I switch very prematurely, like that, because it's actually very similar to the supersonic fight back in Sonic Adventure 2. You can switch between characters with the triangle button, just don't do it too often, because as you saw, I was running low on rings as Shadow, so I switched to Silver, who had 50 rings. Then I switched to Supersonic, who also had 50 rings. But then when you switch back to Super Shadow, he has 15 rings. And so again, don't be like me, don't go down the stupid route, and then just, be patient. However, because of this, you can at least get one pot shot, on Solaris. But because of my actions, I take longer than usual for this boss fight. Ugh. I probably should have known better, but it's at this point I don't really care anymore. Let's just finish this atrocity. This game, this atrocity of a game. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Now, here's a good pro tip. I would constantly mash the X button because when you mash the X button and Sonic, Shadow, and Silver can do a short dash, but if you constantly mash it, you can pretty much go faster, outrunning many projectiles. It doesn't always work, but it does work enough to the point where it's at least effective when it comes to dodging. So now that the other piece of armor is off, we switch to Sonic, Super Sonic. Hey.
It's my turn. Let's have some fun, Solaris.
Alright, I don't know why I stopped there, because I had to listen to that piece of dialogue. But yeah, if Sonic's special ability, when you hold, you can. After you recharge the meter, where you simply do that by holding down the R1 button, and I think you have to press. I don't remember. Was it X or square? It's been a while since I recorded this. Yes, but you press whatever button that launches the attack. I think it's the square button. Yeah, you press the square button to launch the attack, and in Sonic's case, you do a dash, which, well, you pretty much dash into his gut. And now that all the pieces of his armor are off, pretty much any character can attack Solaris. And that's pretty much the first phase.
Is it over?
No, it's not over yet.
I guess it's not gonna be that easy.
Yeah, that is totally not the Hyrulean shield symbol, by the way. I mean, yeah, it is noticeable earlier in this game, but it's just so apparent here. Like, this is totally the Hyrulean shield symbol from Legend of Zelda. Come on, come on. I'm not the only one to think that. I know I'm not. Now, but anyway, now that we're on the second phase, the only way we can hurt Solaris. The only way we can hurt Solaris now is that if he's firing his laser attack. I think it's what's penetrating his own shield from the inside. So once he fires the laser, that's your chance to penetrate. That's your chance to go in and lay a lot of hits on him. Solaris as a whole, it's not an amazing fight, with the exception of this awesome as hell music piece. That, again, I can't get enough of. I recommend this, just like Live and Learn, I would recommend this track to anyone who loves Sonic music. And once again, I will say, Sonic 06, as bad as this game turned out to be in terms of execution, god damn, it has one of the best soundtracks you could ever hear from a video game ever. It's one of the best soundtracks in Sonic history, and I recommend you give it a listen. And that's pretty much it for this boss fight, although watch, this boss fight is really not for Silver. I launched multiple projectiles at Solaris, but it wasn't going in. And the only way to hurt him is, well, again, he's firing the laser, but since he's going all crazy laser like that, yeah, it's kind of hard to throw projectiles at him. You know what? In terms of the voice acting, I mentioned how terrible it was, but yeah, it's lines like this where I feel is where Jason Griffith really hits some lines out of the park. Because 'Cause that's honestly some of my favorite voice acting from this game, and that's when he's, well, Supersonic. Again, the voice acting kind of sucks in this game, except for this one bit. And I feel that's where Jason Griffin started to get better at his role. And it's not until and that's further capitalized in Sonic and the Secret Rings, and it got even better in Sonic Unleashed. Trust me, when I get to Unleashed, I will comment on how great the voice acting is in that game. The voice acting did get better after this game though, I will say that. But we just have to get one more hit. Why am I silver? Yeah, let's switch to Sonic. Let's get that final hit in, since the title is Sonic the Hedgehog. So let's get that final dash in. What? That didn't count? Ah, come on. By the power of cliched motivation. Urgh! And that is it for Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. All we have to see now is the ending, as well as that big S rank.
That was incredible.
It may be easy to get an S rank in this boss fight, but even then, I still feel pretty good about it. I feel satisfied.
Did you destroy it?
No. That is the true Solaris.
Look, Elise. This is Solaris, the flame of hope.
It's so beautiful.
When the flame has grown large enough, our world will change. Solaris will allow us to control time and move through history. People will be able to rectify past mistakes and avoid bitter fate.
Will we be able to see Mama?
Yes, Elise. We'll both be able to see your mother once again.
Pretty light.
This is where everything began. Who knew such a tiny flame could bring such devastation? If we put out this flame, Solaris will never exist. And then we'll never have to worry about the flames of disaster, right? But our encounter... You and I will never meet. It will never have happened. To tell the truth, I what happens to the world.
Fuck you, Elise.
Elise, just smile.
Miss Elise? It felt like someone was calling me. I'm sure it's just the wind. Of course. But it felt so familiar somehow.
So that was Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. Jesus Christ. You know, out of all the bad games I played in my life, Sonic 06 is a weird one for me. I think I mentioned this before, but goddammit, I am saying this again. I won't deny in saying that this game is utter garbage, you know, well, actually not garbage, but more so on. I won't deny that this game is atrociously unfinished, because that's what this game is really criticized for. But at the same time, I just don't find it as bad as some people say. But before I get into that, let's get into the obvious reasons on why this game is so terrible, and which I kind of agree with. Let's start off with the most obvious thing, in my opinion, the story. The story just feels like somebody's god-awful fanfiction. It feels like god-awful fanfiction that somehow made its way into a mainstream game. Because of that, there was barely anything likable about that story, and it didn't help that it came off as one of the most confusing and really frustrating as all hell plots to follow ever. And the plot as a whole, God, no. It's stuff like Silver's ending and the kiss scene. Those were, well, Silver's ending in particular. That's where I draw the line personally. Secondly, obviously, the game is really unfinished, meaning it's very glitchy and. Alright, it's very glitchy. Graphically, it doesn't live up to the expectations of what next-gen Sonic would look like, especially when you look at it from the trailers. And overall, I think so far, those are pretty much all my negatives. I do have more negatives about this game, but those are most likely the same, negatives that other people would say, and I don't want to be redundant about it. So if I can let's not look at the negatives and instead look at the positives. Obviously, the soundtrack is glorious, and I definitely recommend you give it a listen. Secondly, when it comes to level design, at least for Sonic, it's decent. It's good enough to where I can say it's playable. Because that's the thing when people say when Sonic goes 6. They say oh, this game's unplayable. Oh, the controls suck. And yet, nowadays, I barely have a problem with the controls and level design. Maybe in Shadow and Silver's case, but when it comes to Sonic, I really don't have much. I don't really have that much trouble with it, to be honest. And thirdly, the characters. While poorly executed, and I do mean that when I look at Mephiles and Silver, when you boil them down to as characters, I like Mephiles as a villain. He's definitely a more serious take, and honestly, I think Sonic should have more villains like this. And Silver is one of the most underrated characters in the Sonic franchise ever. I do agree, I hate how he was written in this game, but in terms of character, I would like to see Silver in his own game, honestly. I wouldn't mind to see Silver again, out of the Rivals games and spin-offs. So, yeah, Sega, make it happen. Let the Sonic 06 fiasco die, and let Silver be in another game. But, of course, I'm not going to be showing off the songs, to be honest. The song that plays here. The song name is My Destiny, but honestly, just look it up for yourself. I'm kind of done with this game. So, that is it for Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. As well as that is the end of Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. And the next time we meet in Sonic the Hedgehog, in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe, we are doing Sonic and the Secret Rings. I am GameMan5804, and I hope you all have a fanfiction-free day.